Welcome, everybody, to the live roundtable edition of They Cast from the Coast for May the 25th. My name is Adam Miles, and I'm joined, as always, with Josh Lambert, Aaron Peerless, and Tim Johnson. How you guys doing? Meh. Meh.
I'm having a grand old time. You guys are always such negative Nancy's.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, how's your week then been, Josh?
Good. The hunt is on for a house, and so we'll have a new horror setup potentially here soon. We'll see how it goes.
Very nice. It's a difficult time to do a move, but fuck, man, if you can pull it off, this is good.
It's a good time to buy a house, I'll tell you that. Rates are great.
It's true, too. It's true, too, man. Cool, buddy. Aaron, how you doing this week?
Yeah, it's been a blur, but yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
lots of shit on the go. It's been a blur.
Yeah, learning how to draw and stuff like that. Yeah.
Learning how to draw, he said.
Are you foolish?
I'm dead
Are
serious.
you foolish?
What an arsehole.
I know. You know what?
I'm
It
offended.
really grinds my fucking gears. Because Adam goes, Aaron's going on about fucking not being able to draw. And this is after I already saw the post. And I'm like, you fucking stupid? Like, what's his problem?
I'm dead serious, boys. I don't have the confidence.
Yeah, okay.
What are you...
That's like Gary Busey saying, "Oh, I'm learning to act today." Yeah, okay.
Like, art is art. Art is art.
Unreal.
Yeah, well, I struggle with it a little bit.
You struggle, but you do well. You do very well.
Just wing it, man. Wing it. That's all I do. That's how I coasted through all my artistic endeavors. I
Really?
just fucking wing it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, it looks good. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
The worst part about it all is that it's this project me and Aaron have on the go. Not going to give too much details about it, but I can't wait till people see it. And when I was talking to Aaron, I had some stipulations as to how we were going to do the project because I was pushing for it. And I said, the first fucking thing, you need to sketch your ideas. You need to sketch like something that's going to, inspire you or whatever have you. Sketch your ideas. Aaron's like, oh, you bastard, I can't fucking sketch. I'm like, you keep saying that, but you go right the fuck ahead. It doesn't matter. It should just be a simplistic drawing if needed. So here I am. I complete this fucking extremely simplistic, stupid fucking drawing. It could be literally just an exaggerated stick figure of my fucking thing. And I'm like, hey, that looks pretty good. I'll look up at the screen. What the fuck is that, Aaron?
Well, I brought it up. It's
It's fucking amazingly
I
great.
can't draw.
I can't draw.
I'm telling
So
you.
is that your character design?
Here's mine. Let's see if that shows up. I was
That's-
like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's not bad. And then all of a sudden, Aaron's appears on screen. I'm like, I should just fucking rip this up right now. Like, what the fuck, people?
Aaron's looks like a kind of cross between Pumpkinhead, an alien, and a Deadite.
That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Pumpkinhead with a few little differences, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
and when I sit down to sculpt it, I'll change a few things. Probably put some funky looking ear on it, some ears on it, and change it a bit. But that's kind of what inspires me, right? I love Pumpkinhead. Thought he was wicked.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't draw for shit my ass.
What an art.
Right on my nerves.
Unreal.
Got right on my nerves.
Unreal.
Nice. How's your week been, Tim?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fine.
Doing one goddamn thing after another. I think the pinnacle, the absolute height of my bullshit week was Windows on my computer decided to just fucking die. So my whole computer didn't want to work anymore. And, I'm desperate when I fucking call Adam going, what do I do? What do I do? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. But, like, it's been fucking
This computer has dicked you around so much.
Well, see, the thing is that, okay, I learned last time about, properly saving my shit, and I got my core like, I didn't lose anything, right?
Yeah,
I didn't lose anything, but what I did lose was Windows and everything that was on Windows. So all my programs. Do you guys understand how obsessed I am with fonts? Okay? I had probably about 4 years of fonts saved to my computer, gone. All these old fucking photos that I edits that I bring up that had fonts, none of them will work because it would be like, yeah, it's missing this font, so I gotta go and fucking search the internet, and some of them are really hard to find because I don't pay for shit. I ain't paying for fonts, right? And some of them are like, real nice, and yeah, it's basically been that, like just putting you know the ordeal of putting Photoshop back on my computer and fucking Adobe After Effects. And I didn't have Skype. And Adam's like, you better put Skype on. We're podcasting tonight. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's tonight. Right? Like, yeah, so.
Most
It's
people
been.
get viruses on their computer from like downloading porn, and Adam gets them, or Tim gets them by fucking downloading bootleg fonts.
Wait. I gotta jump in here for a second. The first thing out of your fucking mouth was Adam. Because
I just couldn't believe
obviously
something else
Adam.
fucked up.
Well, I don't know what happened because I was editing and got up to make supper and came back in, and all three of my screens are black except for this one, and it had some weird fucking message on it about how Windows is corrupted and won't start. And yeah,
Man.
is Adam wearing the same fucking shirt as me tonight? Jesus, boys, I haven't worn this shirt in like 2 years. The one time I wear it, Adam's got it on.
I wear this shirt all the fucking time. It's my downtime
I know you
shirt.
do. I thought it was safe. Adam's laundry day or something.
First shirt I ever bought from Tim.
That's pretty shoddy for Windows, though. My dad used to have that problem. Then he went to a Mac.
Well, I mean, it also doesn't help that I'm still on Windows 7. I didn't bother upgrading.
Oh.
Whatever. I just reinstalled it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it has been an interesting week, has it? With the COVID-19 and the quarantine still going on, there's still downtime to be binging things and to watching things. So I put a couple of comfort movies on my list this week, and I just kind of watched some of the classics. And then I decided there were a couple of movies I decided to take in that have just kind of been sitting on my lists of things to watch. On Shudder, I watched that one, Mayhem. The one with what's his name? He plays Glenn in The Walking Dead, or played Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Kind of like the Belko experiment. It basically has to do with like an office that gets shut down and everybody's going like nuts, killing each other and shit. Not a bad movie overall. It might have even been better than the Belko experiment, to be honest. Had a couple of really interesting twists to it. But then, with the good comes the bad, obviously. So I decided to put on, because Amazon Prime has a movie that Josh brought up a little while ago, wondering if I'd be at full fucking mast for this thing. And admittedly, I was intrigued by the movie, but I don't think I was extremely excited because it seemed like it was trying too fucking hard to overhype itself. So this was this movie called Antrim, the deadliest film ever made. And the whole...
It already sounds fucking lame.
Yeah, so the whole point is it's kind of like about a film that was like made in like the late 70s. Apparently went to a bunch of film festivals and shit happens. People died in the theater. The film, some of the theaters burned down. People died of like fucking heart attacks and shit after watching the movie. It's supposed to be like this cursed film that kills people who watch it.
And you watched it?
And you watched it?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Man,
So-
now is not the time to be fucking around with that.
No, not during this whole thing. So it's one of these things where it starts off, it's like a documentary about the movie. It's like a 10-minute long little preview about what happened with this movie and the fact that a print suddenly has appeared in like somebody's fucking random collection in like Ohio or fucking someplace. So the filmmakers of this documentary obtained the copy and they digitized the movie and are making it available for you to watch.
Seems kind of irresponsible.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fucking terrible. So it literally is like a very shoddily made meant to look like late 70s, early 80s horror movie that's not even really horror. It only had like one scene that was even really redeemable in it. It had to do with these like fucking Satanist type people. They had like this huge. It's on like the cover. It's like this big fucking Baphomet statue that's made out of metal.
Mhm.
And it turns out it's like one of those. It's like an oven that they basically like boil and burn people alive in.
Cool.
So there's a
Cool.
scene where they're like basically trying to do this to somebody, and okay, that was okay, but the rest of the fucking movie, it tried too hard. It tried to explain that as these people went deep into the woods, they were entering like the multiple layers of hell. And the whole premise of the fucking movie was about this kid whose dog is euthanized for being a bad dog. The mother euthanizes the dog. And she proceeds to tell the kid that the dog's gone to hell because it was a bad dog. So the kid and his older sister basically decide to find a way to go to hell to save the dog's soul.
Okay.
It's like,
I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
Is there any ants in it?
Is there any
There
what?
Any ants? You know,
No.
like Antrim?
Oh, fuck. So I gotta be honest, the movie is really garbage, and
That was a really dry joke, Aaron.
I'm just gonna have to come out and say that if I was to rate this
Dad
fucking
joke.
movie, guys,
Yeah.
it would have to be rated S. For shit!
You want to know what's
Sounds like a
hilarious?
Great
It's the
movie.
fact that like Adam goes, hey, Josh, how was your week? Josh goes and he says all this personal shit about his week. Goes to Aaron, hey, how was your week? All this personal stuff about his week. Goes to me, I vent for a minute, personal stuff. Adam goes and fucking reviews a movie when it gets to him.
That's as
You guys
personal
notice
as
that?
it gets.
That's personal.
You
We're
know,
talking
so,
about
like
the
he's
flaccid
like
level
this
of
fucking
his
man of
penis.
mystery. He's
How-
not going to tell us how his week went. He's just going to
How much
fucking
more personal
review
can
a
you
Did
get?
shitty
anybody
movie.
fucking ask me how my week went? Nobody fucking
It's
cared to
usually-
ask.
How was your week, Adam? That's not my job. That's not our job. You are the host, and you go around the table, and then you end up on you, and you tell us how your week went.
Well, my week was okay, but I seen a couple movies, so there you go.
Jesus.
He's had a flaccid week.
Flaccid. Took a fucking trip to Lake Flaccid.
Took a fucking trip to Lake
Did
Placid.
you go for a swim, Adam?
I did not even dip my toes in Lake Placid, my friend. Okay.
To talk about dipping things. Dipping things in Lake Placid.
Didn't even dip the toes, let alone go waist deep.
When you say they tried to recreate a 70s film, do they do like 70s effects and stuff? Or was
Like-
it just a film that they shot with like an HD camera and then added
Then they
grain
put
on
filters.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they did.
it? Oh, that's unfortunate.
It literally just a HD film that has like shitty looking film grain on it. The
Now, if
only
they actually got a shitty camera from the 70s and filmed using like the shitty effects that they would have used back then, I think that would be a pretty cool.
That
pretty cool
actually
movie.
would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
yeah, it would be getting like a Super 8 or a 16 mil
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
What were the effects like, Adam? Were they any good?
There was like no effects.
Oh,
You
was
said
it-
they were cooking people alive in a giant metal
No,
statue.
they were trying to. They had like this. It was all like off camera type shit. They put somebody in the statue and then nothing. Like it was like all off camera. Like the movie was meant to be like some sort of like a low budget thing that basically came out of like fucking Russia, but was entirely English.
Okay. All right.
Imagination go. That's what it is.
I
Trying.
watched a movie that Adam was actually fully erect for. He saw the trailer. He was fully erect.
Oh, I think I know what this one was. And
So I watched The Wretched. It was the one where I think it was a while ago when we watched the trailer on here or we were talking about it.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be some fucking. I thought it was going to be like about the Wendigo.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's a fucking spirit coming back from the woods and terrorizing a family. Trailer looked great,
I
Right.
vaguely recall this.
and I watched it, and it was just kind of meh. But when I watched it, I held up Josh's fucking rules,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Josh might like it because the rules, because even no happy ending and practical effects and what are the established rules. Like I was going through all this stuff, right? But it was not the movie I thought it was going to be because it ended up turning into some kind of teen version of Body Snatchers, like one of those kind of like, oh, I know my
Angsty.
neighbor's possessed and how can I fucking prove it, but no one will believe me type of movies.
Hey, that's a core rule, man. I love that. That is a great horror trope. I'd
It
call it the
is.
child's play trope.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good call. Some of the special effects were really good. I was very underwhelmed because I was kind of excited for it, and like it shows this one clip in the trailer of the because it's a witch.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a evil spirit of the woods, where you can see a silhouette of her on the baby cam right behind the crib or whatever, and the eyes are glowing and shit. It was in the movie, but it was like that's all that happened. Like I wanted more of that shit, right? But the one cool thing is they don't give a fuck about who they kill, what age you are. The first opening scene. Let me the opening scene. This girl shows up to babysit at a house. The house is completely empty, and she's like, "Hello, hello," and it's like set. I think it was set in the 70s, maybe like early 80s. Anyway, she's going around the house, "Hello, hello, hello," and she hears some banging coming from the basement. She goes down, and she sees this possessed mother eating her fucking 6-year-old daughter.
Awesome.
Like the little kid is dead, and like she's biting the fucking, and I was like, okay, right? But then it never went back up to that height. Like,
That's unfortunate.
It
so
started off big
It
and never,
peaks.
yeah.
It peaked
Started
in the
off-
first 10 minutes.
like you're gonna fucking kill kids in the first five
eat
minutes
them?
and eat them?
You're gonna blow your load in the first 5 minutes, and
Um,
that's it,
I mean,
man.
I recommend you guys watching it or whatever. It was okay. It definitely seemed like an old school type of movie with modern effects, but like I said, it left me wanting more. I wanted more. So then I ended up watching. I got all excited and I watched Ju-on, the original Ju-on,
Nice.
and that movie, in my opinion, doesn't fucking stand the test of time as far as effects, even though it was like done in the mid 2000s. But I still like it. It's still fun.
That was the peak of bad CGI, really.
Really, I feel the peak of bad CGI was like '96.
No, because that was
Like-
just learning how to do it. They didn't know any better. I think like early 2000s.
When did The Mummy come out? '99.
The Mummy was good. It was the Scorpion King that was bad.
Yeah, it's
No, the
Scorpion
Mummy.
King that was
No,
shit.
well, it was the Scorpion King and the Mummy too that was really bad. But I remember the Mummy being kind of bad. I remember some of the CG and the Frighteners being kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like that
You also gotta
99 to 90, 96 to 99 kind of era.
I guess. And then you had Jurassic Park, which
Well,
Came,
that
out,
entire
came out in like
really
fucking
good.
92 and still surpasses a lot of shit.
that's what I mean. Crazy.
Yeah, well, when you do it right, I guess. So, shout out to JJ on the chat. His literal words are, "Adam liked it, the movie, and Adam didn't do shit this week. That's why he's rating shitty movies." So I'm getting it from every angle here tonight, guys. So
Oh, poor Adam. Poor
Have you tried
fucking Adam.
being less shitty, Adam?
have I tried being less shitty? All right,
You-
hit
you
fucking
could do that.
restart on that.
Really,
Whatever. Fuck y'all.
just try.
I'm just gonna drink. I'm just gonna drink. You know what?
You're out of your fucking little wine glass.
My little wine glass. Hey! From my
It's so
wife.
Fucking wine glass.
From my wife. Okay, from Cryptid Cove. Here we go. Drink until you believe. Little alien ships. Look at this.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. The stuff that she's putting out is great.
You're still
All right.
a wiener.
Your wife is great, Adam, but you're a wiener.
Pretty much. You should put that on a cup.
My wife
I'd
is
buy
great,
it.
but I'm a wiener.
I'd buy that cup. Put it on a fucking coffee mug. I'm gonna have to message Mick after this.
Yeah, Mick, if you're listening to this,
Yeah.
Don't
Great
worry,
business
Jacob's
My wife's
listening. He'll
cool,
have
but
it
I'm
relayed to
Jacob, go tell your mom.
her. All right, gentlemen. Let's get into some topics, shall we, for the night? So let's get through this. We haven't even hit the fucking topics. It's just been, yeah, whatever.
Maybe
All right.
because the topics are. Oh, okay.
Topics are good. First topic of the night, ladies and gentlemen. RLJE Films and Shudder have acquired the Void director, Steven Kostanski's latest film, Psycho Gorman, for a late 2020 release. They plan to go theatrical and then go to Shudder in early 2021, if not late 2020 with this. This is good news, man. For anybody who hasn't seen the trailer, this is bug nuts fucking crazy. It's Canadian horror. It's got some amazing looking fucking graphic gore and effects in this. This is one of those movies. It's just over the top. And it looks
is
good
this
for
that fucking like horror version of Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah, where it's like an alien that's like
They
a
get the
fucking
alien and he becomes their friend and like
And he looks like a
yeah.
and the little girl's
Great.
basically like, you
Okay.
fucking with me? And like the alien's gonna like kill people for her and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
When is this
great.
coming out?
All the news that's come out said late 2020 now, because with everything going on with COVID, they can't guarantee the release dates. So they're just pushing to say as soon as theaters open, they're going to do a theatrical run, and then probably on Shudder by the end of the year, if not early 2021 now.
So
Which
these
is great.
motherfuckers have it done now, and they just don't want to release it.
Did
Well-
you know that there's 175 theaters open down in the United States?
Jesus.
Like out of the 5,000, there's 170 something fucking opened movie theaters down in the States. Now I
Probably
think a
all
lot of them are
private
privately owned or whatever, and they just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But
It would have to be, because any corporation wouldn't open themselves up to a class action. Do you imagine? Fucking someone gets corona at watching some movie, and then all of a sudden there's a class action lawsuit with fucking 7,000 people that went to your theater.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, reality being too is that some of these theaters were claiming, just before the United States reopened, that they were basically going to get ready to file for bankruptcy because they didn't know if they'd be able to pack the seats anymore. So this is just one of those big moves now that the United States is open again. The theater chains are opening. They might even be the full ones. I don't know, because AMC themselves was saying that they were going to fall under, for what was happening. So
no, I think the report that I watched, they said out of the 5,500 theaters they have down in the States, 179 were open, and I think the majority of them were privately owned. So I do agree with the fact that it was, if it was a corporation, yeah. So I mean, well, it just goes to see how I derailed this whole fucking, because it was just kind of, it was one and done. I'm sorry, Adam. Sorry. No, but it's crazy because there's this fucking barber shop that opened, and it was closed, and then they opened it to the public, and then like 3 days later, there's some guy that worked there that had COVID-19, and now there's like 100 new cases from this one store. There's one barber shop.
What a dingus.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in Canada.
maybe Toronto. Toronto's
Yeah.
like kind of opened the fuck back up now too. So
Well, I was looking at the numbers in like Montreal, Quebec is like leading Canada with the most fucking cases.
But yeah, their schools are fucking open.
did they never shut down their schools?
They opened their schools back up. They're not grading anything, so it's pretty much just daycare for you to send your kids to.
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Can
So
you-
Psycho Gorman.
No, I'm kidding.
Can you imagine going to one of those theaters in the States that is open, watching like a crazy pandemic movie, Quarantine, or like,
That's what they
Outbreak?
should be doing. Just
Right,
playing
and then-
Outbreak 24/7.
Yeah, and then you go home and you've got COVID, and it's like, what do they say? Did they just say that? Well, you asked for an immersive experience.
I was going to say the interactive
Wow.
experience.
Aaron, that is dark.
Well,
That is
I
dark.
went there, man. I
You
went
did.
there.
If you have it
committed.
4D, there's just an usher that comes out and sneezes on you.
It's like the old Shrek
Yeah,
4D
yeah.
ride, man, where the dragon sneezes on his ship, but the usher
Yeah.
does it this time. Oh, man. Here's your free case of COVID, sir. Blech. All right, fine. So, like I said, good news, Psycho Gorman, because the big thing with this movie was
Oh,
that
yeah,
it
we're
was...
talking about that.
We are. So the big thing with this movie is that it was supposed to be at South by Southwest this year, and it was supposed to be picked up for distribution, hopefully from there. So South by Southwest obviously didn't happen, but that just means that they must have shopped the movie around, and it got picked up anyway. So good stuff. Canadian horror. Can't wait to see it. Steve Kostansky is killing it with his movies. So
How erect are you right now for it?
this, I
Hey,
kid you
yo,
not.
wrestle you?
No, he's asking how erect I am for this. I will admit I am full mast for this movie.
What a weird thing to ask, and I apologize. Like, especially to like people that like might be watching the show for the first time. Like,
My aunt is like, I'm going to check
feel
out
like
Adam's
that was
show.
a
How
lapse in
erect
judgment.
are
I
you?
feel that was a lapse in judgment, but the question still stands.
I'm full mast for this movie.
Oh,
He's gonna put his Jolly Roger on that full mastiff.
The opposite of Lake Flaccid.
Adam Lake Flaccid Miles.
No, we are not fucking starting that.
Yes, we are.
That is
you know
not a
how long
thing.
I had to go with a fucking moniker? How long? Every episode, you gave me a new one. And I kept silent all that time until
You
I had
enjoyed them. Tim, the mother of dragons, Johnson. Come on. I should go back, take all of them from the original episodes, and reinstitute them every fucking episode moving forward. Just to keep them going. All right, fine. Moving on to the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. This one's fun. Jason Momoa is set to play a vampire alongside Peter Dinklage playing Van Helsing in an action horror movie titled Good, Bad, and Undead.
I don't believe it. Because,
Is this a comedy?
because Jason Momoa keeps getting cast in all these fucking movies, and they never happen. He was supposed to be in The Crow. He was supposed to be in this one and that one. No.
But The Crow never happened anyway. But this movie here, so let me give you guys the heads up on this one. So Jason Momoa and Peter Dinklage are set to reunite in Legendary's upcoming action horror movie, The Good, Bad, and Undead. They're reporting this today. Project is based on an original idea by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, the duo behind Freddy vs. Jason. The synopsis reads, Dinklage will play Van Helsing, last in a long line of vampire hunters. He develops an uneasy partnership with the vampire, Momoa, who has taken a vow never to kill again. Together they run a scam running from town to town where Van Helsing pretends to vanquish the vampire for money. But when a massive
This isn't
bounty
an
is...
original idea. This is Dragonheart.
Yeah, I was just
It
gonna
does
say,
sound like
that's
Dragonheart. Fucking, and Momoa's the dragon. But when a massive...
Sean Connery.
Yeah, but when a massive bounty is actually put on the vampire's head, everything is in this dangerous world full of monsters and magic is now after them.
This is literally Dragonheart.
It sounds funny. Like, it sounds funny. I'll watch it, but...
This sounds too far fetched to not be happening.
Yeah, and it's Legendary Pictures, and they're usually pretty good about running forward with what they produce. They're one of those companies that when they say that something's coming, it's usually coming. So, I think it's going to be a fun idea. It's not like, I'm like, but it's good. It sounds fun. Jason Momoa, Peter Dinklage.
I love Peter Dinklage.
I know, he's great.
He's great. He's a great man.
Yeah.
The Dink rocks.
The Dink rocks.
That's a t-shirt.
Love it. All right, next topic of conversation. It Follows filmmaker David Robert Mitchell is directing a new take on superheroes with a movie called Heroes and Villains. So the reason why I put this up here is because with the popularity of villains going rogue and the anti hero characters and obviously villains as the hero, like Brightburn, big example, which was, even though the movie didn't do extremely well in theater, found its following quite a bit on DVD and Blu-ray. It seems to have kind of sparked something, because there's almost like another uptick in horror type superhero movies. Now we have like the New Mutants, which has been on hold, but is kind of coming and going. Tim just is very fucking excited for that movie. But then this, but then this comes out. Genre blending, genre bending project, where basically they're talking about having, a horror version of heroes and villains.
Which sounds awesome. It Follows was great.
Yeah.
It Follows was one of those movies where it was like, it came out in modern times, but it's got very classic horror. Like it's a classic horror movie. It's really good. So I trust this director.
It was a stupid, simple fucking premise that was well, you know, put into perspective. Like
Well,
it
look
was
at
done
all
well.
the movies that we like from the horror from the 80s. They're all stupid simple.
Yep.
Friday the 13th. Don't come to my camp. I'm going to come to your camp. You're going to die. Evil Dead. Don't read the book. I'm going to read the book.
You're gonna die.
Michael Myers, just fucking going around the neighborhood killing people. Like,
Yeah.
super simple usually is the best.
Yeah. It Follows
That's
was really
with
good.
everything though. Look at Post-it notes or I don't know. Pick
I
some
love how Aaron's looking
a
around.
paper
What can I say?
clip. A paper clip, right? It seems that all of the simple shit always gets like everybody goes for it. They can understand it.
Yeah.
Especially paperclip.
The paperclip is an engineering genius move. What do you mean?
I just like my fucking very simple. Don't read the book. I'm going to read the book.
You're gonna
Yeah.
die.
Don't go to sleep. I'm going to sleep. You're dead.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the cabin.
You wouldn't go back to the cabin. You're dead.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun, especially if he keeps the same type of tone that he's good at with this movie. Like it'll be interesting to see how he kind of grows as a filmmaker with this. So next topic, Jamie Lee Curtis has signed to direct a horror movie with Blumhouse entitled Mother Nature.
Has she ever done that?
She is not. She's said in an interview that she's decided, now that she's kind of become active again in the film community, that she's decided to take that next step and do the one thing that she's always put off, directing. So it's going to be her behind the camera this time. Maybe she'll even act in it. I don't know, but she'll be behind it. Let me see here. She did direct it though recently, which is part of the reason why this happened. Apparently, she's never directed a movie, but she directed like 2 episodes of a show. One of them was Scream Queens, the show that she was on, and another show called Anything But Love. So she basically said, "I've always wanted to direct a movie, and I'm going to move forward, and that's the one thing I've always put off." So she signed a 3-year first look deal with Blumhouse for television and movies, and this is the first one that she's put in front of them, and they basically said, "Do it." Intriguing. I mean,
Hey, it's a big name on the cover of the movie.
absolutely. I mean,
Even if it's dog shit, it's gonna make a ton of money for Blumhouse.
Yeah.
it's true. It's true. And there's nothing that's actually come out about the movie so far by any means. Also, it's way too early for them to even talk about it. So we'll get some details at one point. But I mean, she'll finish up Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and this will be, whether she's going to do it in between things or afterwards or whatever have you. She's, I mean, it's going to all come out around this time. So
Pretty neat.
next topic, gentlemen. David Arquette has officially confirmed as starring in the new Scream movie. So we started talking about this at the end of the last episode, did we not?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because
There's a bunch
it
of
came
people
out.
that said they're in it. They're gonna sign on or whatever. And now we got some confirmations.
That's correct. So at the end of the last episode, we talked about the fact that it was blowing up that he was coming back for sure, and they did officially start producing articles about this, stating that he signed on the dotted line. He is 100% coming back. And this comes on the tail. Something else that was interesting. This comes on the tail of the fact that there's been some really weird articles floating around that Matthew Lillard has apparently been talking to people, saying that there was an idea floating around that maybe Stu hadn't actually died in the first movie. And, like, he wants to reprise the role.
Sure.
I don't know. Thoughts?
You look confused.
Well, I mean, look what happened to him.
I don't remember. I haven't seen Scream in fucking almost 2
I
decades.
want Doofy.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
who I want. I want fucking Doofy.
I told you not to disturb me while I'm cleaning my room!
I loved Doofy. That's who I fucking want in this movie. Even though it was a scary movie, I want Doofy.
You want him to break that barrier, eh?
Yep.
Yeah,
Why not?
Doofy and
Let's
Dewey
start
in the
the
same movie.
Start a petition.
How did he die, Adam? I don't remember.
Not only was he like
Doofy?
stabbed, no, Stu.
Doofy
Not-
didn't die. Doofy walked off like a champ.
Yep.
He did. Gale swallows. Stu in the first movie, not only was he like stabbed and shot, but at the very end he was fighting with Sydney, and she like dropped one of those big ass CRT TVs on his head, and like electrocuted him and smashed it
You
on
can
his
totally
face.
survive that.
Okay. Speculation's running a wild anyway, but the other thing that's going on with all of this is that the Kevin Williamson has stated flat out that he would only be doing this if he felt that the script that they were writing was in fact going to honor Wes Craven's vision for the Scream movies, and he has guaranteed that the outline that they're preparing for the movie and how they're going to write it and the story that they have is going to take the genre to the next level. He feels like Scream originally did with Wes Craven.
Come on.
See, when people say
His
stuff
own
like that,
fucking
that's when I
horror
lose
little bit.
confidence.
Yeah.
It's true. I
What
mean,
the fuck is the next level?
it's not like, you know, when Scream originally came out, Wes Craven was going around saying this movie's gonna fucking redefine the movie genre and all this kind of shit. It just did for the most part. It became its own thing and fucking set a precedence for like the next like fucking 10 years of slasher movies. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's interesting. I mean, I don't hate any of the Scream movies. I like them all. 1 to 4, and the TV show, like I said, I never really saw it, but I fucking love The Mask, and the premise seems okay to me, so I'll get into it at one point. But I have a love for Scream, you know, and they were always a good experience watching them in the theater.
I do like the idea of a horror icon that isn't supernatural. So it's one of the reasons I love Hannibal so much. Just the fact that it's real, it could happen.
Yeah. So before we go on to another topic, you bring up Hannibal.
Yeah, what?
Did you hear the news?
No, what are they doing now?
Well, not only is Hannibal seasons 1, 2, and 3 coming onto Netflix, but Mads Mikkelsen was quoted the other week, or was it him or one of the writers from the show originally, stating that in the negotiations with Netflix showed interest in pursuing a season 4.
Really?
Yeah, so apparently Netflix has been after seasons 1 to 3 for a while, and when the rights came up to stream it, they started talking with the production company and the writers, and basically said,
Netflix original?
we would love to do a season 4. And which is cool, because that's the kind of shit that Netflix does.
It is.
They take a show that was canceled on regular TV and they put out the fucking next seasons of it. And half the time the show's fucking just as good, if not better, and
I
it
wish
continues
they
and
would
has
do that
another
with
life.
Ash versus Evil Dead.
I was just thinking that.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I don't know if Bruce would sign on for that. Sam would have to, and Sam's too busy doing stupid things that aren't even dead.
It's
I don't
too
know.
busy to-
That aren't Evil Dead.
Season 3 Hannibal, I don't know. I found it really, and it might be just me, but I found it really difficult to follow.
No, it got weird, and I'll be the first one to tell you the show got very weird,
if
and
they
it was hard to. Yeah.
bring that in and and have a good storyline and stuff instead of this jumping around and you
They
know,
just need to focus on Hannibal.
right?
He's the aristocrat that's fucking twisted,
Yeah,
that eats people.
right.
Just
And
stick to him and tell his story.
that's what they have to do because I like if they put out another season that was like season 3, I'll watch the first episode and be like, screw this.
And it's one of those shows I never seen season 3. I'll go back when it's on Netflix and finish it up anyway. But season like the kills and the fucking serial killers from like the first season alone were like pow, like amazing, man. You know,
Does anybody else notice that Adam's not moving? Or is that just me?
That's just you. I'm moving.
He's moving around like a motherfucker.
Woo! I don't stay still,
no,
motherfucker.
he's frozen on my screen. Everybody else is fine, but
Well, I'm looking at the stream. The stream looks fine, so.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. Final topic for the night before we actually open up, because I know Josh has a couple things late to the table that he wants to talk about. Stephen King's The Stand, the new miniseries. Well, it's not a miniseries, is it? It's it's being produced as a miniseries for CBS All Access. So the new version of the miniseries that's being produced and directed right now, and finished editing, they're going to be shuffling the chronology of the story. So this is starting to upset people, and people are starting to kind of bitch and talk about this now, but they're not going to go in the order of the book or what the original McGarris series did, kind of following those timelines even then. So they're actually going to jump a little bit more, and probably do like later first and come back to it and everything else. What do you think of that, Tim? You've read The Stand, and
I read both versions. I remember my first experience watching the miniseries. It made me love Don't Fear the Reaper. Before that opening scene, and that's what they're playing. Yeah, to me that's iconic. Why the fuck am I going to judge that? Like, if they have an idea to tell The Stand, because The Stand can get draggy.
Mm-hmm.
If they can fucking tell it in a way that each episode's interesting, because I heard that it was supposed to be 6 episodes, but I also heard that like if they might be doing the revised edition of The Stand, it could be 2 seasons, so it could be a mini series that's 12 episodes long, is what I heard. But I'm just happy that fucking Bill Skarsgård's brother's playing Randall Flagg. Can't remember his name.
Oh,
Skarsgård.
Yeah, something Skarsgård.
Andrew Skarsgård, or I don't know.
That
He
sounds
played.
right.
Yeah, he played.
He was in True Blood.
Yeah, he played Eric or whatever in True Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's cool that Skarsgård.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Alexander. Because the pictures they released of him as Randall Flagg were really cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I used to read the book, when I read the book, do you want to know who I pictured Randall Flagg looking like?
Who?
Rowdy Piper.
Oh my God, yes.
That's who I pictured in my head.
Denim and all.
Yeah, the denim. Well, basically how he looked like in They Live, right?
Yeah. Shit.
That was Randall Flagg for me.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and the pictures that they released were really cool. Like, I can't wait. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I can't wait to actually see this. It's going to be good. Another Stephen King series, but coming back to kind of the roots that we all, kind of grew up with, really. I mean, you had Stephen King movies, but then you had the miniseries based on the larger efforts, right? So It isn't just like it's going to be 2 fucking 3-hour long or, movies in a movie theater. It's going to be a miniseries, and it's going to be able to tell the story, at a good length and running time. So.
And actually have decent special effects, and because that was the thing with all the miniseries, growing up, was it's really cool that we're getting this more time with the characters than we would a normal movie, but at the expense of a smaller budget with shittier effects. And I like now that like it's all balanced now. Like you could watch a TV show and get to spend all this time with characters, but like they have really good special effects.
Also have the effects, yeah.
Right.
We'll just look at Game of Thrones.
Well, Game of Thrones, I'd even say, even something a little bit more recent, fucking The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's got like
Star Wars movie.
Star
level
Wars
effects.
epic movie effects, but like in a
10 hours,
2-minute
15
show,
hours, or whatever it is.
So
the one thing I'm really eager for them to show about The Stand is I can't wait to see what they do with the Trash Can Man.
Yeah.
Because he was always one of my favorite characters, and Frewer played him amazing in the original series. So it's like, I can't wait to see what they do with him. So, all right, gentlemen, open floor. But Josh had 2 topics. I just don't have pictures for them, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's not an open floor then. It's Josh talking.
Josh topics. So quick. Go ahead, Josh. Throw them out there.
So first thing, pretty cool. We were talking a little bit about the Evil Dead 2 escape room. Apparently, there's another company doing one themed as the Overlook Hotel. So you're in like an abandoned hotel, and you're in the hall, and you got to get into a couple rooms and figure your way out. Very cool, very cool.
Love it.
I wish something like that would open up around here, but here we are.
Well, maybe instead of buying a house, you should open it.
Maybe I should buy a decrepit house and then open it.
There you go.
I'm sure Allison would love that.
Right?
Should have bought an old hotel, Josh. An old hotel.
There's got to be some foreclosed hotels after COVID. Gotta be.
Probably. No, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's becoming a big thing to do like virtual escape rooms and stuff like that. So to see something come up for The Shining, because The Shining's all over the news again. They just released a board game. It's like available at like Target and shit. And
it's because the 40th anniversary just happened.
That's right. And I was going back and I was reading some old Fangoria magazines, and I found back in like issue 4 or 5 or something like this, it was like an article about Stephen King writing his thoughts after visiting Kubrick's set. And he was a lot nicer back then writing that article for Fangoria than he was later on in the years after the movie was done. Yeah, so it was a very interesting read to basically hear him say, "Oh yeah, it looked great. The sets were great, and his vision was amazing." But then right in the article, it's like, "Yeah, I don't really like the fact that he scrapped the fucking hedge animals." You know what I mean? So he was kind of throwing some shade in the article, but The Shining, man, it's back, and it's Dr. Sleep has kind of given it some more life too, and
definitely.
Yeah. What was the next one that you had there, Josh?
Oh, Resident Evil 3, pretty popular game, recently remade. Modding community got a hold of her, did what modding community does, and what can only be described as pure genius. They found a way to replace the Nemesis, the most terrifying creature in video games, I think, that fucking haunts you, and replaced it with Shrek.
That's awesome.
They did a mod a couple, maybe it was last year, where they replaced him with Pennywise.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's not nearly as terrifying as Shrek.
Yeah, there was another one where they replaced him with.
Through the wall at you.
Yeah, there was another one where they replaced him with Thomas the Train Engine, and literally you could hear him like fucking whistling as he was coming up the hallway, and all of a sudden he busts through the fucking wall. Yeah.
Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Nice. All right. No, that's creepy as shit. Open floor. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Are you sure? No more fucking scheduled topics?
No scheduled topics, Tim.
Anybody seen that? I don't know. I guess it would kind of classify as like a tourist kind of thing, but somebody's opened up like a Camp Crystal Lake where you have to survive. Survive Jason. Yeah. You can actually book with your friends, and they kind of give you like an experience. I haven't heard anything about it, but I did see a couple ads over it.
That's the one in Arizona, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's stupid. There's no lakes in Arizona.
You think there are no lakes in Arizona for some reason?
There's lakes. There's lakes all over the place.
There are fucking lakes in Arizona.
Yeah. Pretty cool premise when you think about it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So last year, my brother got married at a bunch of cabins called the Milford Houses down in like Annapolis area, and it is straight out of like the 70s, these cabins, and it looks like Camp Crystal Lake. And I said they are missing out so much. They should be doing something because they close in October. They close for the season. They should fucking do a haunt and have. There's like 40 cabins on this site. You rent out the cabins $1,000 a piece,
Yeah.
and they house like fucking. They have like 6 rooms in these cabins. Some of them.
Maybe I should get a hold of them.
You definitely should. You get a couple guys dressed as Jason, scaring the piss out of people on Halloween.
Showing up at certain times, certain locations, have it all planned and shit.
Yeah.
You
Have
wanna
it
know
planned
what
like
I
a
think
scavenger hunt almost with them.
Yeah.
What would be cool is if you actually had like the workers as like fucking camp counselors.
Yeah.
And yeah,
You have the coordinators of whatever you want to call it, workers or whoever's coordinating this event, and you have them as camp counselors, and you put Camp Crystal Lake shirts on them.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
We got a couple good characters to play Mr. Voorhees.
Play who?
Mr. Voorhees.
Yeah. Okay. Tim. The only thing Tim would want to do, he'd want to play like old Ralph. It's got the death gas.
no, I would.
He'd be in the outhouse.
No, I would mix movies and I'd run around like fucking Angela.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say
Like
you'd be Roy
Reed?
My bird going in the breeze,
in the summer breeze.
summer breeze.
I thought you were gonna say Roy for a minute, so it's like it's like one of those fake situations.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that's not really Jason.
You're not Jason. I'm Jason.
For the horror buffs, though, you could really make that.
No,
Kind of
they are
shit.
missing out on such an opportunity.
Yeah.
I was at one of their cabins, and the whole time I was there, I was thinking, man, a fan film would be amazing to film here.
Wow. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And they're
cool.
not expensive. Like I think it was $300 or $400 to rent this cabin, and we fit 5 like couples in it. There's
Wow,
5 separate
we
rooms.
only had a script.
You poking?
Yeah, I'm poking right at you, fucking Adam.
Don't
Looking
fucking
right
poke
at
me.
your
Don't
screen
fucking
right
poke
now.
at me, Tim. Just because I'm the talented bastard with the writing. It was pretty epic looking. All right. Anything else for the topics, gentlemen? If not, we're going to wrap it up here.
No, I got all kinds of fucking topics I'm going to talk about. First
Go
of
right
all,
ahead.
Adam, the fucking no, I'm kidding. No, so I took Aaron's recommendation and ended up getting the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR game, and that game is amazing.
Insane.
Like, and I'm not really a big fan of the Move controllers. That was one of the reasons why I loved Resident Evil 7's VR, because I could just use the controller. But holy shit, the immersive of like, and they're really responsive. And it's like, I gotta get my backpack out, or
Yeah.
I gotta chop the fucking head off this zombie with this axe, and like you do it, and like, oh, it's so good, man. And it's like stuck, and you're like, ah.
I know. Do you find that when you go back to it, that your brain is more in the zone for moving around and stuff in it? Because I found that when I walked away for even like after playing it for 6-7 hours, walk away for the day and then come back the next day, I'm finding that I'm not even like the Move controllers are making a little more sense. I'm like, I'm doing it where I'm not even thinking about it.
Well, I almost feel like I can go into all these other VR games with a better understanding of these controllers now, because this game, if you want to be able to play it, you got to know. And some of the mechanics, like once you get the hang of it, it's so fluid and like. But you're right, it's a little bit of a learning curve. But like I said, I feel going into other VR games now that use the Move controllers. Like I almost want to replay Skyrim VR again, but using the Move controllers, because my kid was playing it one time and like he's shooting fucking flames at one guy and then another guy's coming and
That
he's
game
shooting
is fucking
lightning.
exhausting, man.
And yeah.
I have it, and I remember I had it on like high difficulty setting, and the first dragon that showed up, and I was an archer, and it was like a fucking 35-minute battle. Then I'm fucking.
Josh is all fucking sweaty and shit.
Oh, I was just pouring sweat. Like, man,
Yeah.
fucking real.
Now, Jim, here's a question for you. Did you find that, and I think I asked you this, offline or whatever, but did you find that you wanted to stay out after like your alarms went off?
Okay, so
Yeah.
the first time it happened, okay,
Yeah.
I'm kind of one of those gamers that I explore everywhere.
That's what I do too.
So it's like the first real mission where you have to go into the house and you climb up, which
Yep.
was fucking awesome, by the way. And I'm like, holy shit! And I'm looking down. And I'm like, I'm really fucking climbing here, right? So I get in the house and I'm looking for fucking like scrap and stuff, right? Like materials and shit.
That's what I
And
do.
the thing goes off, and I'm like, whatever.
That's
right?
what I did.
And I'm looking through, and I go up and I kill I do the story mission where you got to go up in the attic and kill the father and get the ring back and all this kind of stuff. Whatever. And I'm like, I'm just coming from Days Gone, where
Right.
there's literally
Hordes.
hundreds of zombies.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, there's only like 10 of them out there. I was like, that ain't a fucking horde, right? I literally did that. I'm looking out because, like I said, I'm
Yeah.
coming from Days Gone where there's like 250 zombies in a horde at one point, right? So I'm looking out. Oh, this ain't a big deal. I nonchalant just fucking climb down. Oh, there's 2 zombies down there. Boom, 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 boom. And then my axe breaks. And I have no bullets, and I don't know what the run button is. So I'm walking, and there's like 10 zombies, and they're all gaining, and then they're around me, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, Anthony, what's the run button? He goes, you double tap the walk, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
I did the same thing, brother. I did the same thing.
It's
man.
it's fun, right?
Yeah,
It's fun.
definitely.
So
I managed
have
to stay out. I managed to actually make it back to the boat after being out like I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and that the music just keeps playing like it's violent music. You're like, holy shit! Like, calm down. I'm getting a little freaked.
Yeah, I'm just gathering some shit.
Yeah, and I managed to. And I hate the fact that there's stamina in it because you can only run for so long. If you don't make it to your boat by then, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Right.
And then your arms don't want to move after you're swinging axes and shit. Okay, so the coolest experience in that game so far for me was I didn't have a knife or a shiv, and I had my crowbar that I was using fucking just died. So I had nothing, and I literally there's like 2 zombies walking in at me. I see a bottle and didn't know that you could smash the bottle. Smash it, and then you can grab them by the head, and then right, like, right? So you only get 1 kill with that. So I'm like, how the fuck am I going to kill this other zombie? There's a spoon on the floor. I'm like, can you kill them with the spoon? And like, if you press the triangle button, like it goes from like holding something like this to holding it like this, right?
Yeah.
So the zombie's coming at me, and I'm doing this with the spoon, like, because I'm some badass. And I killed him with a spoon. I literally killed him with a spoon, and I was like, this game is amazing. And then like some of the AI, like I would go up to people like some of the other survivors in other places, and I'd be like, hey, what's up? And I did like be touched, and I did that to some chick, and she goes, don't you fucking touch me, pervert. And I'm like, I was like, okay, like, and it was just like tapping her in the face and shit, right? It was funny.
So what's the move mechanic in this? Like, because like I remember with Skyrim, you had to like point to where you wanted to go and hit the move button or some shit like that. And
Same thing.
I hate that.
It's not like that. It's kind of like you push the move button, like the movement button on this move controller, and it's like wherever you look.
Oh, well, that's not so
But
bad.
you can get a little more precise with this controller, and I think it's square or X. But if you push it, you'll turn, right? So you can look like once you get used to it, like it's very fluid.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like it initially. I'm like, oh man, what did I get myself into? And then after 3-4 hours of just screwing around and stuff, I found that my that everything was. I didn't even need to think about it anymore. I'm like, okay, this is getting a little better now, right?
Like,
So,
and that's the problem with VR games is like
right.
I sent a message to the group like, holy shit, guys, I've been in virtual reality for 6 hours straight,
It
and
fucks with your brain.
I'm going back in, and it literally felt like I was only like playing for maybe an hour, and like, you know, I started playing maybe 12 o'clock at night, and it's 6 a.m. and it's sunny out. I take off the goggles and I'm like, right, like, yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then I played until fucking like I don't know, probably 10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
Nice.
Yeah. So I played for a while.
That's
I
awesome.
find myself trying to interact with the things after a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've told you this story before, but I was playing a game and there was like a counter, and I literally went to go lean on the counter, and I fucking fell flat on my face.
I went to put down my something in my hand and I dropped the controller. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
this is right.
Well,
Grab your other hand.
the funny thing is that one of the coolest things, this is what I got to say about playing Skyrim was, when I get bouts of like anxiety, depression, and all that kind of stuff, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm going in Skyrim," and I would go to some place, sit down in the place, and then actually sit on my couch and just kind of chill in this world,
Just in the
right?
tavern, looking around, listening to the
Yeah,
birds.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Seriously.
it was a
works.
great kind of like relaxer, right?
Hey,
So I was like, I'm gonna do it in this. So like, your home base is a bus, and you can smoke real cigarettes in it, right? So I'm smoking a a virtual reality cigarette while really having a cigarette, and it was the coolest fucking thing ever. Because I was like, "Am I really doing this?" I'm lifting the goggles. I'm like, "Wow, it was cool."
Yeah, I must say it's pretty wild, for sure.
Yeah, we got to get some move controllers because we don't have those here. So
Well, I think you know what the next gen game console PS5 they're developing a new PS VR for it, and the controllers look a lot more like what you would see on like the HTC Vive or
Yeah.
the Oculus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that they're going to be making some pretty cool improvements, and I have seen gloves that are haptic, and that if you're grabbing an object, they'll stop around the size of
oh
the object.
wow.
It'll actually lock in place, so it feels like you're in your hand, right? The only thing you don't feel is the weight, right? But
yeah.
I mean, you actually get a
Your
set of
brain will fill the rest of that in, man. I'm telling you.
yeah. It's going to be insane the next years.
If they
Well,
have
the cool-
individual finger, that means you can literally flip someone off in VR.
Oh man.
One of the cool things that I did hear though is that the PS4 VR will work on the PS5,
I did hear that too. Yeah,
which is
Yeah.
cool.
that is neat how they're doing that.
Yeah. And then you just need to, like, if you want the different controllers, you can just get the different controllers and shit, but you can take it all with you apparently.
But I guess the headset's going to be upgraded because that was one of the things that I wasn't necessarily a fan of the PS4 VR was it's just the resolution's not there. Whereas I've played in Oculus where it's like holy shit 1080p fucking right.
Yeah,
So
I haven't played any of the other ones, and I don't think I want to, because I don't want to be like, oh man, I'm not putting the PSVR helmet on. Shit.
The PSVR really does still hold up. It's just the
Oh, I believe
resolution's
it
not
does.
perfect.
Yeah, totally.
Nice.
Lots of fun.
All right, gentlemen. I think it's time to wrap it up for the night. So, thank you everybody for tuning in to the Cast from the Coast live roundtable tonight, and thank you very much for your time. And check us out, Facebook. Misunderstood Art Company. Check us out and like and subscribe to all that and share out the videos as we go live every Monday night. And we also produce review episodes every week as well. On Fridays, they usually premiere. We're also on YouTube. YouTube, Misunderstood Art Company. Like, subscribe, share to that as well. I don't know if anybody knows this, but we're on Patreon as well. So open up your hearts and your wallets. Every episode that we produce of They Cast from the Coast and They Cast from the Coast Live gets produced on not only the video systems that we have, but it gets produced on the podcast networks that we are on as well. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, etc. So you can find us pretty much on every major platform that you'd want to listen to a podcast on. So thank you very much for your time. And until next time, Josh.
Just want to wish everyone, a happy summer. Maybe some of you will get to go on some vacations. Lucky enough, maybe you'll get into Lake Placid with Adam. So we'll see what opens up with COVID. I don't know if they'll be open for the summer, the season. I don't want anyone to get their hopes up, but just putting it out there.
Lake Placid with Adam. All right. Fuck you too. Aaron!
Enjoy the nice weather coming up, everybody. And yeah, enjoy your summer. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Tim.
Stay safe. And most importantly, stay spooky.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Good night.